Hey, Tony here. So today I'm going to go over all of the films that I watched during the month of February. I did get to see some in the theater, but most of these I watched at home. I'm going to be using my Letterboxd account if you'd like to follow along with me. I do have my Letterboxd account linked down below, so feel free to do so. I do have like a little mini review of each of these films that I watched, so you can kind of get a little bit more of an insight of what I thought about the film. But this is going to be kind of like a brief summary of the film, if I liked it or not, and what kind of rating I gave it. During the month of February, I did focus a lot on Best Picture winners. So I did watch 20 Best Picture winners for the Oscars during this viewing. So I did watch those in order of the oldest film to the newest to a newer film. It's not some of the newest films that have been Best Picture winners, but just throughout the time of the first Oscars to this final Oscar that's coming up. Okay, so I don't know if that made sense or not, but anyways, we are going to go over what I watched. So first up, I watched Stir of Echoes. I really did enjoy this one. I got the lenticular steelbook last month in January and wanted to watch this film again. I had only seen it once. I really did love it. I actually enjoyed it more this time than I did last time. I gave it 3 stars and a heart. Great film. Great recommendation. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. Okay, next up, I watched Wings. This right here is from 1927. And I really enjoyed this one. I gave this one 3 stars and a heart. This right here is the first Academy Award winner for Best Picture. So this is what started out as my first Academy Award Best Picture watch. So as I said, from the oldest to some of the newer ones. So I'll try to remember which ones were Best Picture winners as I talk about these. But I really enjoyed this one. Like I said, I gave it 3 stars and a heart. It did kind of get dull at times. It is a silent film, but overall I really enjoyed the story. So if you haven't seen Wings, I think it would be a benefit to check it out. Okay, next up I watched All About Eve. I do believe that this right here was another Best Picture winner, and I really enjoyed this one. I gave it 3.5 stars and a heart. Wasn't very familiar with the story at all. I've had this in the collection for a very long time and finally watched it, and definitely would recommend you check this one out. Okay, next up was another Best Picture winner. I watched The Greatest Show on Earth. I gave this one 3 stars and a heart. I enjoyed it for the most part. It was not as good as I thought it was going to be, but it wasn't terrible. It was very interesting to see these characters and to see the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey circus all, you know, I guess depicted in reality, because they were really a part of it. So happy to have watched that one. Okay, next up I watched The Bridge on the River Kwai, another Best Picture winner. I give this 3.5 stars and a heart. I love this film. This was my first time watching it. Great movie. I had always been putting this one off because it was so long, but a lot of these films that I watched during the month of February were very long titles. But man, if you have never seen this one, I would highly recommend you check it out. Okay, next up, I did watch a bunch of Best Picture winners that were musicals. And the first one I'm going to talk about is West Side Story. I gave this one 2.5 stars and a heart. Overall, I'm glad that I watched it. I do want to see the remake to see if I like it any better. But this particular musical, I didn't care much for. Like I said, I gave it 2 stars and a heart. I gave it a heart because this is one I would revisit, but 2 stars because I really did not care much for the dancing numbers and the songs. I don't know, something about it I just didn't really care for. Okay, next up, I watched My Fair Lady. This one I got 2.5 stars and a heart. Enjoyed this one. I do enjoy Audrey Hepburn. I think this right here was another musical. It was another musical. I don't know why I say I think, but it was another musical. I didn't like it as much as I thought I was going to like it. I didn't hate it, but I did give it 2.5 stars and a heart. I would watch this one again. I think what turned me off from this one were, I don't know, some of the performances. But anyways, I'm glad that I watched it. Okay, the next film that I watched was The Sound of Music. I gave this one 3.5 stars and a heart. This was my first time seeing The Sound of Music. Really loved it. Overall, it kept my attention. I did enjoy these songs and these numbers. I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the setting of the film. It was beautiful to look at. And I don't know, it had some really good moments to it. The ending was kind of weird, but very happy that I was able to watch this one for the first time. Okay, next up, I watched Oliver. This right here was another Best Picture winner, 3 stars and a heart. This is from 1968, I do believe. First time watch. I enjoyed this one. I enjoyed the story. I thought it had some really great characters. It had some musical numbers. Had some really great special features on this Twilight Time release. And I highly recommend you check that one out. Okay, next up, I believe this is another Best Picture winner. That's for The Sting. This right here was a first time watch from 1973. 3 stars and a heart. I did enjoy Paul Newman and Robert Redford. I enjoyed the special features. I enjoyed the story. I liked the way that they broke out the film in the different sections of what was happening throughout, which kind of helped with the story. So very happy that I was able to watch that. Okay, the next one I watched was not a Best Picture winner. It's just something I wanted, something different. And so I watched The Great Mouse Detective. I had never seen The Great Mouse Detective. This is from 1986. I gave this one 2 stars and a heart. I didn't like it as much as I thought I was going to like it. Like I said, it was a first time watch. I thought I was going to like it more. But to me, I really enjoy other films better than this one. Like, what comes to mind is The Rescuers. I really enjoy The Rescuers. It's another film with mice. And I don't know, for some reason I didn't hate this one, but I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I was going to. Okay, next up, I watched another Best Picture winner. That is for Rain Man from 1988. This one gets 3.5 stars and a heart. This was my second time watching this one. I hadn't seen it since this was first released in the theater. Really enjoyed it more this time than the first time, if I remember correctly. I didn't really remember much about it, but I really enjoyed the story. Great performances. Highly recommend you check this one out if you've never seen it. Okay, next up was another Best Picture winner, and that is for Driving Miss Daisy from 1989. The last time I saw this film was in the theater when it was released back in 1989. And I really enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the characters. I enjoyed the relationship between Morgan Freeman and Jessica Tandy's characters, how it changed. I enjoyed Dan Aykroyd's performance. I thought it was a fun movie. It had a lot of heart and it had a lot of laughs. And this one I gave 3.5 stars and a heart, so definitely check that one out. Okay, next up was another Best Picture winner, and that Best Picture winner for Dances with Wolves with Kevin Costner. I had only seen this one time before, so this was another second time watch. This one gets 4.5 stars and a heart. So I rarely give anything above a 3.5. Rarely do I give a film 4 or more. But this one right here really stands out. This was my second time watching this one. Really enjoyed the story. Great release, great special features. If you've never seen Dances with Wolves, it's worth every minute watching that film. I would highly recommend you check it out. Okay, next up was another Best Picture winner. This is from 1995. Actually, this is from 1991, and that is for The Silence of the Lambs. I've seen this many times, but it has been a while since I watched it. This is my first time watching it in 4K. This is a great release from Kino Lorber. Always enjoyed this film. This one gets 5 stars and a heart. It's one of my favorites. So I'm sure everybody's seen The Silence of the Lambs, but I really did enjoy it watching it again. Okay, next up, I watched Braveheart from 1995. This one gets 4 stars and a heart. Another great film. Braveheart, I don't even remember if I've seen this. I want to say this is my second time watching this, but I really don't remember seeing it the first time. I think that I did, but I don't remember anything about it. But I really did enjoy this story. I thought it had some really great characters. some really good action sequences. I really enjoyed Mel Gibson's performance, and just really loved it. So 4 stars and a heart. That was from 1995. Okay, another Best Picture winner from 1997 is Titanic. This was only my second time watching this film. I gave it 3 stars and a heart. I did enjoy the story. I always enjoy the movie. I enjoy films about Titanic. This one, of course, is really exaggerated, but great story, great characters, great special effects. So very happy that I was able to watch that one again. Okay, the next one is from 1998, another Best Picture winner. I gave this one 1.5 stars, but a heart. So I gave it a heart, even though I didn't really care much for the movie. This is one that I'm going to want to watch again, probably, just to watch it one more time. But Shakespeare in Love, this right here, like I said, is from 1998, 1.5 stars and a heart. Oh, I liked parts of it, but parts of it I didn't really care much for. I do not understand how this won Best Picture this year, but it did. And so that was what I watched. Okay, next up, I did watch a film in the theater. So these next 2 films I watched in the theater. The first one I watched was Love Hurts. I watched that one. I gave it 1 star, no heart. I did not like the film. It did not live up to my expectations. For some reason, I thought it was going to be a great one. But it wasn't even funny. There was no heart to it. I don't know. I just did not like it whatsoever. So it got 1 star. I don't know that I care to watch it again. The next film that I watched that same day in the theater was Captain America Brave New World. I gave it 2.5 stars and a heart because I did enjoy the story, the continuation of the story. It wasn't my favorite. It's definitely my least favorite Captain America movie. But I did enjoy parts of it. There wasn't enough of one character that I really would like to have seen more of. But I am glad that I was able to finally watch it. Okay, next up is another Best Picture winner from 2007, and that is for No Country for Old Men. I love this film. This one got 5 stars and a heart. I have definitely seen this one before. This is my first time watching it in 4K. Excellent release from Criterion. And if you've never seen this film, definitely watch it. It's definitely worth the watch. Okay, the next film that I watched was another one in the theater. I watched The Monkey. I gave it 1 star, no heart. I don't know, this was another one that I was really looking forward to watching. I have been for several months now since it was first announced. But I was let down. I don't know if it was overhyped or if my expectations were way too high. But the acting was horrible for me. It kind of took me out of the film. I don't know, I just didn't care for it very much. I do want to watch it again. Hopefully I'll like it more the second time around. But for now, 1 star, no heart. Okay, next up, back to the Best Picture winner from 2008. First time watch, and that is Slumdog Millionaire. Really enjoyed this one. Wasn't really very familiar with this film at all. I gave it 2.5 stars and a heart. I did enjoy it. This is one that I think should deserve a better release than just this one. I wish I had a nicer release for this, but really enjoyed it. Okay, next up, another Best Picture winner from 2010. This got 2 stars, no heart. I did not care much for this one. The King's Speech, I thought it was going to be better than what it was. It wasn't horrible, but I didn't really care for the characters. I did enjoy the special features to hear about what really happened, so that was interesting. But I don't think I'm going to watch this one anytime soon. Okay, next up was another Best Picture winner. This is from 2011, and that is for The Artist. This one I gave 2 stars, no heart. I do believe this is the last Best Picture winner, so I watched 20 Best Picture winners. This was the last one that I watched. I liked it for the most part. I gave it 2 stars, no heart. Trying to remember exactly what it was that I didn't care. I guess I didn't care much for the characters. I didn't really connect with them. It wasn't horrible, but I don't think that it was Best Picture winner material. Okay, next up, On a recommendation, I watched J. Edgar from 2011. This right here I gave 2 stars, no heart. Some of the story was good. The makeup that they used for the aging effects looked kind of rough. It was kind of dull and boring, but I am glad that I finally saw it. But I will not be watching it anytime again soon. Next up was another recommendation. This one is Cricket House, Agatha Christie. This one I gave 2 stars, no heart. I was really hoping to enjoy this one. I really do like most Agatha Christie films based off of her stories, but this one, I don't know. It had some good parts. There was some mystery. The ending I enjoyed, but overall the movie was kind of dull. Next up was a first time watch, and that is for Sweet Country. Really enjoyed this one. This one was a part of a buy one, so you buy 2. Anyway, I bought Cricket House and I bought this one and one other on eBay, and if you buy 3 you get a discount, so I bought 3. Very happy that I was able to watch this one. I really enjoyed this one. This was based off of a story from Australia. Great performances. It is like a Western type feel about it. Great characters, great story, beautiful cinematography, 100% recommendation. This one I gave 3 stars and a heart, and very happy that I watched it. Okay, next up was my last film that I watched during the month of February, and that is My Cousin Rachel. This is the 3rd film that I watched from that eBay bundle. I'm very happy that I was able to see this one. This one got 2.5 stars and a heart. This is one that I will watch again. I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the performances. It does kind of get mixed reviews on Letterboxd. But I enjoyed the mystery. You know, did this happen? Did this not happen? You know, maybe it got answered at the end, maybe it didn't. But I really enjoyed it, and I would highly recommend you check this one out. So those are all of the films that I watched during the month of February. I'm happy that I saw all of these. That was a lot of films to watch. I thought it was a pretty good month. There was a lot of great films that I got to see. I'm definitely looking forward to what's going to happen here in March. I do want to see some more films in the theater, but I'm not really sure exactly what my theme is going to be for the month of March. I did see where somebody was going to be doing a Western type theme, but anyway, I got to kind of plan that out. So leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think about the titles that I watched, and also leave me some recommendations of some titles that you think I should check out, because I really do enjoy your recommendations. But thanks for taking the time to watch this video, and we will see you next time.